Hey everybody, welcome to this collective reading. I'm going to go through the zodiac signs and we're going to talk about Mercury Retrograde. Now, I was born during a Mercury Retrograde and I've always found them to be fairly lucky times for me. So I haven't really bought into the Mercury Retrograde fear. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull 4 cards per zodiac. The reversals I will read as things that you are letting go of, or things that could be a little messy for you during Mercury retrograde, which will start on the 29th and go through, I think, the 18th. So about a 3-week period. And then there's a little shadow before and after. And then there's like a nice little like star around the 6th or 7th where it's like, this is fine. So I'll go through pull 4 cards for each of you. We'll talk about what might be a little messy, what could trip you up, and what might be coming in, because I kind of view Mercury retrogrades as like the tide going out really, really far, like a really low tide. So yeah, it takes a bunch of stuff with it, like seaweed and stuff like that. But what are the treasures that we can now see that we wouldn't normally be able to see without that pulling away of the water and what covers it and obscures our view? So let us get started with, of course, Aries. So I'm going to cut the deck here for, well, Aries, they're all upside down. Let's start this. They're all upside down for you. So we're just going to look at some of the things that could be a little messy for the next 3 weeks. One little messy little thing could be the Fool in reverse. A new opportunity might not go according to plan or according to what you want, or some sort of a leap of faith. There's a reason it's called faith. It's because we don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. So you might take a risk and it might be a little bit, or you might hesitate to take a risk. You know how I like to occasionally jump off a cliff into a lake, not too high, of course, but and what always freaks me out is what if I freak out at the last minute and my body just involuntarily takes an extra step and I mess up the jump, and then I hit the rocks, or I don't get, or I belly flop, and that would be painful. I always have this fear that I'm gonna my body's just gonna involuntarily be like, whoa, no, not that. What are you doing? And then that will mess it up. Some sort of other thing where my mind and my desire is committed, my body might put up some resistance. So there might be, so that's I guess what I'm seeing with this Fool card as I'm talking it through, is that there might be some sort of leap of faith, and there might be part of you that puts up some resistance towards that. It might create a little hitch with this leap of faith or this risk that you might want to take. There might be a little hitch there. So watching that, being careful for that, or just being aware that that the risk, there's a reason why it's called a risk, right? We do a risk benefit analysis, but there is still a reason why it's called a risk, or why it's called a leap of faith. It's not a step of certainty, it's a leap of faith. So the leap of faith may let you know that it is definitely, faith and risk are parts of this whole thing. So a little bit of a hitch there with some sort of new idea or some sort of project. You might find a little plot hole in whatever novel you're writing or something like that, or you're thinking about something and there might be a little plot hole there. So let's see here. So then 10 of Materials in reverse. So something might not have been as successful as you wanted it to be. I'm not sure I like this whole upside down thing. So you might not see the fruits of your labors at this point. Something might not be as successful or have come to as a great a fruition as you originally intended. So maybe this is all about a risk that you took, a leap of faith that you took, and it really did not get the results that you were expecting and hoping for. I mean, I think we can be proud of ourselves for taking leaps of faith. for taking risks at all. It's way better than never taking risks. But something hasn't been as profitable or as useful or as beneficial as you originally thought. There may have been a sort of a trip up at the beginning. So this would be sort of like, yeah, you did kind of belly flop, or yeah, this is kind of a belly flop situation here, which is, you know, rich with lessons and all of that. And make sure you're not learning the wrong lessons. Like, the wrong lessons include things like, I guess I just suck. Nobody likes me. I guess those are the wrong lessons. Those aren't lessons that we're actually supposed to be learning here, okay? So, and then we also have a little glitch with a page of materials. This could be an actual child. So again, we have materials here, but this could be a person, a student that is not making something happen. It's page of materials in reverse. I can't help it. Like, it's maybe a mistake from your youth, or maybe a youth around you has made an error, or perhaps you were new at a job and you're really not catching on to the job at this point, or it's really, there's a little bit of a glitch here in creating the reality that you intended to create. Or there could be someone around you, like an actual like student, mentee, or person around you that's really not catching on, or really not getting the gist of what you're trying to do. Somebody here, there's a person here, and they're not really able to make something happen, right? They have the vision, but there's some sort of barrier between the vision and the reality. So they have some sort of idea, they're trying to learn, they're trying to catch on to something, but they're not. You may have like hired somebody and taken a chance and they're not working out, or someone took a chance on you and you're not working out, which, you know, that all helps us to arrive at a better place for us. We don't need to stay at places where we're not connecting. And then we have more materials. So this definitely looks like this might have been a financial opportunity that didn't quite pan out. Might have been a new job or a new employee that hasn't panned out, haven't really caught on or even made much money. There might have been some sort of entrepreneurial risk, or even working for someone else where it just hasn't produced what you thought it was going to produce. So then we have two of materials, not able to manage everything, an inability to manage things, an inability to. So I guess I'd be really careful for money if I were you. I'd be really careful, not really careful. How do I say that without like creating that exact like glitch of fear that can happen right as we're taking a risk? But things that might be a little messy could have to do with money, could have to do with work for you over the next couple weeks. This two of materials in reverse, there might be more to manage than you can manage, or someone's not able to manage everything. That could be you, that could be someone else, it could be someone younger than you. They're just not able to manage the material resources or the job or something like that. They're just not catching on. So there could be something about work, something about money, and something about a risk that you took at some point. And it's just a little trickier. There's some very tricky energy as far as like catching on, or being able to really turn this into a good experience or a good possibility. Okay, and then dear Aries, I'm so sorry, I did not mean for all of those to be reversed. So we're gonna pull out a little prayer here. Grace within reach. It's okay to feel like a mess right now. Yeah, we got messy energy right now. It's like you're not seeing a lot of bright spots perhaps. Perhaps it's just there's a lot of mess. So this is coming in. It's okay to feel like a mess right now, to feel like you need help and want to resolve, straighten, organize whatever's going on, whatever has troubled your heart and mind. My grace is within reach. As you ask for my help, I shall lift you into safety and peace. So you may need to ask for some help to manage a situation. that is just not, you may not have the funds or resources or capacity. It has to do with money or work, with all of these materials. And it's just, something's overwhelming, something's too much for you. So feel free to ask for help. It's within reach. You just need to ask. I mean, obviously ask the right person, but, and it's okay to feel like a mess right now. That's fine. So, all right, Aries, sorry about that. I'm going to shuffle here. All right, well, hopefully we did something. Wait, starting that. All right, hopefully, well, we'll shuffle again here. Just one more time. All right, Taurus. Splitting the deck. We're going to take the top 4 of the deck. What could be messy and what could be a gift for you? Oh, thank God. Something's in that variety. Oh, yeah, and we do. Okay. Whew, yours is a little better than Aries, I gotta say. I think hopefully everybody's is going to be better than Aries. Okay. Possible issue, feeling tired, exhausted. It's the end. There's like, it's not quite over. But that's interesting because what is it? What's the messy part? Some sort of ending is getting really messy. Some sort of like project or something you've been very passionate about. You've lost the passion for it. You're not as passionate as you used to be. You might be losing passion for something. But it doesn't feel like you can quit. So there might be some kind of loss here or some kind of depleted energy. So as Mercury recedes and pulls the tide out, okay, I understand scientifically that's usually the moon, but we're just going to say that as sort of, it's pulling your energy and enthusiasm for something is what's being drawn out. The tide's receding and it's pulling the energy with it. And some, not all of it, just about a certain topic. That's what you're losing. But what it reveals on the shoreline and what you get to beachcomb is some sort of awakening and clearer understanding. It's transformative. It changes you. You see something much clearer. It took a long time for you to see this, but you can see it a lot clearly. So I do like this beachcombing idea of just the energy and the passion for something receding, and what it's leaving behind, well, a lot of truth and understanding. There's a whole beach here in front of you of truth and understanding and clarity and realizations, epiphanies that change you at your core. So this loss of enthusiasm actually is really beneficial for you because you'll be able to see things with a much clearer eye. You'll be able to be much more objective with something as the enthusiasm recedes. So do not fear the loss of enthusiasm or the loss of excitement or the loss of energy, because what it's gifting you really is a beach full of truth, full of valuables to pick up. You'll be able to see it much more clearly without all of the excitement and enthusiasm. So it's almost like a relationship where, you know, once the initial enthusiasm wears off and excitement of, you know, being loved and being, and all the excitement at the beginning of a relationship, once that all recedes, you start to see some of the things that maybe you skipped over at the beginning, which is fine. We don't want to like naysay every relationship. Everybody's got yellow flags at least. So, and I'm not saying this is about a relationship, but it's got a similar vibe to it as far as like that first rush and excitement is being over. And now we're looking at like, what are the nuts and bolts? What are the things I actually have to deal with here? And then we have this one is always going to, these kings or these muses are always going to come in sideways here. And so they'll neither be upright nor reverse. It's just, it's supposed to be a person Muse of Emotions, King of Cups, someone who can really handle their emotional liquor, who can handle the emotional ups and downs, who really, who can take their feelings as information and not as like as part of the truth, but not the whole truth. Someone with a lot of emotional maturity might be here, and you might be able to see that a lot more clearly than you have before. This might be you as well, as far as like the rush and enthusiasm and excitement receding back here, and not really, the not being like really enthusiastic or really excited about something. You're seeing a lot more, and this might actually be a key to being able to deal with the situation as this King of Cups, as this emotionally mature person, because you're able to, the emotions have their place. They're not the whole thing. They're not the entire universe. They're not all of who you are. You also have, we need to be very much listening to our emotions and our feelings, but we also have a brain, and we also have like a body that needs to be, cared for. And so, yeah, we can feel these feelings. But once we get tired of them, we can see things a little, you're seeing something else. And it's not like a rule for all time. It's like for the next couple weeks, you might be a little more exhausted, but it's actually going to give you the gift of being able to see more clearly and being able to be more emotionally mature about a situation, and take that place. Like, I want to say, take the throne of emotional maturity in a situation. In a way, because you're tired of it or you're sick of it and you don't want this anymore. So what's the reality look like? And then you're enthroning yourself really in some sort of emotionally mature state here. So what it's giving you also is the Hermit energy. This is Virgo energy. This is also, or Virgo, this could be a Virgo. This could also be being single. This could also be really following your own heart. Like, maybe you lost enthusiasm for something and now you see that you never really liked it. And so now you're being, but this is very cautious, especially if we're going to go out into the desert. We do so cautiously. The desert can be much like the ocean, right? We have a lot of water here and then we have none here. So much like the ocean, which can drown us in emotion, we also don't want to get like parched and dry. And both of these environments, both the ocean and the desert, require a certain amount of care. I almost want to see like the Temperance card here that's going to combine the overwhelmed water energy with the desert energy and create a nice little, temperate climate for us. But it almost seems like extremes. But what it's bringing to you is a sense of your own path, your own individuality, not needing to care what somebody else thinks. You're tired of caring about what other people think and what other people say you should do. You're looking at your own truth. Both of these are looking at truth, looking at your own truth, and it's transformative for you. And there's going to be a way in which you can handle it a little bit better. Yeah, there might be some sort of messiness with the loss of enthusiasm, or an ending of some kind might be a little messy. But you're getting a lot of clarity just about who you are and what you actually want, and being very mature about that. And the Hermit energy is going to be cautious, perfectly acceptable proposition here in Mercury Retrograde land. Cautious and making sure you're following your own heart and taking care of yourself step by step. You may receive some truth, but you won't get an overall vision. But you're meant to go step by step, fairly cautiously forward. And I think that fits really well with this Muse of Emotions. There might be a lot of feelings here, but you're tempering those and being being cautious with them and taking things step by step. All right, and then let's get you a little one of these cards. Ooh, you are definitely on to something. You're on to the right path, and you're going to get some confirmation about that. And then this is actually one of I wish I could rewrite this card. I just need to take a Sharpie to it. Do you dream of more happiness, well-being, and love? That's a high frequency dream, right? Happiness, well-being, and love. Realizing that that's not part of some sort of equation, some sort of thing that you're in. These dreams become reality when we align ourselves with a matching frequency. We can become more magnetic to opportunities, to the right people, solutions, and helpful guidance to bring your dream to life. For now, let go of the struggle and embrace the way of play. Yeah, this is definitely about letting go of some kind of struggle. And that struggle could get a little, or something like letting go of desire letting go of desire, allowing the enthusiasm to wane so that you can get a better view of things. So, and I think this Hermit card is about aligning with your truer path, seeing something, aligning with your truer path. All right. Hope that was helpful for you. We'll do a little shuffling here. All right, Gemini. We'll do a quick shuffle. Okay, we're going to cut the deck. All right, Gemini, for Mercury Retrograde. What are you getting, and what's the tide bringing in, and what's the tide taking out? Well, you and Aries need to get together and kind of do a little swap here, because this is you're receiving a lot. This the tide goes out, it takes nothing of value to you. You're not really worried about it. But what lays before you on this beach that you can beachcomb with this extremely low tide is pretty interesting. I don't know how to read this one, honestly. Seven of Voices. A trickery image, a shell, a costume. Seven of Voices. It's getting what you want with no conflict. Does it require some sneaky behavior? Perhaps. You've got two about lying here. It's kind of weird. It's like it brings you a clever lie or something, or like some kind of sneakiness. Like I was thinking it would be a boon, but maybe it is. It's hard for me to envision that. But it's like getting what you want without any conflict. Pretending to be someone you're not. I mean, it almost says fake it till you make it energy. Like, you know, I keep seeing the Rider-Waite one where it's like somebody sneaking off with the swords. They're like, well, I'm never going to win this war. This battle. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to win this? Because they've got 4 times as many men as we have. They've got 4 times. Well, what if we just sneak into their camp and steal their ammo? We'll steal the swords. Yeah, they can't fight us without swords. I mean, we can't quadruple our troops, but we can and remove their, and we can't, you know, we can be something sneaky. We can do something sneaky. Well, it's war. So be sneaky if it's war. It's fine. But there's a sense of avoiding conflict by being sneaky and a lie. It's not saying it brings you the truth, because next to it we have the High Priestess, which is also concealing. Both of these are about concealing information. The High Priestess is very intuitive, though. So you might be getting intuitive information about a lie that was told to you. You might be seeing the truth about someone avoiding something or someone lying to you or being sneaky. You might get an intuitive hit on that because they're next to each other. You maybe realize that you don't know the whole story, that somebody told you something without telling you the rest of it. That there's a way in which you don't, there's a justification here with both of these, which is hard for me to say, but there's a justification here with the High Priestess. It might be in your best interest to be a little bit sneaky or avoid conflict somehow, just for Mercury retrograde. I mean, this is not a lifestyle I'm advocating here. But there could also be, and I can see it two ways, that what you're finding here during the Mercury retrograde would be like a costume or some way out of a conflict. You may intuit a way out of the conflict, which is not having a direct fight or argument, which is indirect, an indirect way out of a conflict in which you don't reveal the whole truth, but you reveal enough of it to create some sort of resolution, creating an illusion, perhaps, the ability or the knowledge to create an illusion, or seeing through one. It could be both too, because Seven of Voices and the High Priestess both have this, what can be revealed and what cannot be revealed. So maybe during Mercury retrograde, your tide's only going halfway out, and there's still a lot more treasure to scavenge on this beach, but you're not going to get access to that. It's just like what can be known, what cannot be known, what's revealed, what's not revealed. And there's something very hidden here. Well, let's keep going. Then we have Page of Inspiration. We have sort of something surprising inspiration, surprising connection to the divine. I mean, again, this is very High Priestess energy too. There's something very highly intuitive about the Page of Inspiration. This could be someone you're meeting here, but they're just getting going on like their spiritual or creative journey. Or maybe you're learning something that you don't fully understand yet. You're intuiting like some sort of, the High Priestess and the Page of Inspiration, these are both very spiritual cards of connecting with the divine inspiration, the muse. And maybe the muse is delivering half of an idea to you. And it's up to you to kind of figure out the rest of the idea. Because this is very, the muse is delivering half of an idea. Not the whole thing. You can't see the whole thing. You can connect to something. You're going to connect to something, but not the whole thing. Do not imagine or believe that you have connected to the whole thing. Do not imagine or believe that because you accomplished something here, that you've accomplished everything there is to accomplish. Or because you've seen something, you have not seen everything. So that's very tricky. Oftentimes we can get like part of the truth and be like, well, I know the truth. And we get part of a message or we understand something and we feel like we know the whole thing. And so it can often be very tricky, and it's actually a very useful message to say, you do learn something, but you only learn half of the thing. There's a lot more. There's a lot more truth. It's not as black and white as it looks. And there's a lot more where that came from. You don't see it. And then we have Seven of Emotions here. You could be, a lot of choices and a lot of options open up. Intuitively, you know the one you want, but there's a sense of needing to think through it all first. Confusing choices, difficult choices. What's going to make you happy? So needing to make some sort of decision about where you think your greatest happiness is, but it's like with half the information. You don't have all the information. You can't know. You can't know. And there's a reason why. So you need to make this choice and this decision. And I don't see you making it. I see this as just coming into a warning. Like there will be an option coming in where you only know part of the truth, and part of it is obscured and is not true. And part of it is true. And you're going to be faced with making a decision in which you must follow your intuition, knowing that you don't know the whole story and the whole situation. And that things have been obscured from you or a lie has been told to you. That doesn't mean it's not the right choice. It just means that you need to be aware that you don't know everything, so you need to follow your intuition. There could be a new, like, a sexual partner coming in here, a new creative partner, and there's a sense of having to make a decision knowing full well that you don't know everything and that there might be a lie in the mix. So really following your intuition. That's what I'm getting from these. So let's pull one of these cards from the Wild Kuan Yin. We're using the Muse deck. Anything? All right. We have 2 for you, Gemini, which just seems so Gemini. Honestly, these seem like there's a lot of Gemini energy here, too. We've got these 2 black cats. They're facing in different directions, but we've got the twin energy here. We've got the, we've got the twin energy for sure here, the 2 sides, the Jekyll and Hyde, really. And with this fox, we're getting like some sort of Jekyll and Hyde energy here. As far as like 2 opposite personalities, and maybe you're just seeing one and you know you haven't seen the rest of it. This isn't to scare you. This is just to say there's an opportunity coming in where you know you don't know the whole story. And you have to follow your intuition. Even though like you're quite new to this somehow. Okay. So, oasis of hope. The successes that seem impossible are all the more precious for their unlikelihood. These are reminders of divine power, the triumph of hope, of winning against the odds. Remember that life thrives hidden even in the desert. This is this card. Life thriving even in the desert. Do not give up hope. Believe in the inevitability of your beautiful destiny. I like that, especially with this sort of shadow element coming in here at the beginning with the 7 of Swords, something in the something lurking in the shadows. So here we have a dry riverbed, but it's a dry riverbed. So it will contain a river at some point. Play to create. Do you dream of more happiness, well-being, love? Oh my gosh, this is the same one that Taurus just got. And it needs to be rewritten, but high frequency dreams become reality when we align ourselves with a matching frequency. There is a way to raise this frequency, becoming more magnetic to opportunities, to the right people, solutions, and helpful guidance to bring your dreams to life. For now, and this is again, bringing a dream to life, inspiration, right? Just starting to reach sort of this divine creative force here. So bring your dreams to life for now, let go of the struggle, and embrace the way of play. So she's out here in the desert, a place of struggle, but she's embracing this way of play, stretching herself a little bit. So, all right, hopefully that was helpful for you. All right, Cancer, let's go. One more shuffle here. We've got Gemini's Page of Inspiration on the bottom there, jumping out at me. Some sort of new, someone who's discovering a new project, a new intuitive path. All right. So let's see, what does Mercury retrograde have for you? Okay. 6 of emotions, wanting, this could be someone from your past that Mercury retrograde is bringing into your life over the next 3 weeks. This could be a past passion. There's a lot of nostalgia with this card. You could be experiencing nostalgia as the water recedes. You know what's interesting? It looks like she's sitting on a sandy beach underwater to me, like covered in emotion, full of emotion. And then as Mercury retrograde pulls out the water, this is going to become more and more obvious and more clear to you. Something or someone that you miss, a very nostalgic vibe here. And you could be bringing someone from the past back into your life in a very real way. There's a lot of missing that something that used to bring you joy. And it could be a hobby, it could be work, anything like that. Anything that from the past that once brought you joy coming back in. You might be losing an opportunity, a new beginning, a fresh new beginning that you wanted to start. A risk was a risk for a reason. It does not seem to pan out. You might want to start something new. Good thing you got this old friend, old buddy, old pleasure here, because you wanted to start something new and it's not going to happen. A new beginning is going to be sort of removed from possibility for you, or let's see here, is going to be removed from possibility for you. So there just isn't going to be an opportunity to take a leap of faith. Like, you might want to take a leap of faith or take a risk. You might be feeling ready to do that, but the opportunity does not present itself now. Now would not be a time to take a big risk or a big leap of faith. I mean, they're called risks and leaps of faith for a reason. It means they're not, as we discussed with Aries, they're not steps of certainty. They are leaps of faith and risks. So there is a sense where there's always a possibility that there was always a possibility that this wasn't going to pan out, and you knew that the entire time. So not a new beginning. You're either not starting anything new, or you're advised to specifically not start a new project right now. Muse of voices. So this is neither upside down nor upright. So this is just about a person, perhaps you, that makes a very judicious decision. Very smart choices. Can see both sides to a situation. I mean, they might lean more towards one side than another. But I think you're seeing both sides to a situation. And even if this did not turn out, or you do not get this opportunity, you're learning from it. This could be, though, a decision maker that communicates with you. And you may ask, like, why am I not getting this opportunity? I would hope that you would, so that you could learn. You learn why. You learn what their thinking is, because they are very smart. They are clever. They did see both sides. They saw what you wanted. They saw what the situation required. And they decided that perhaps that this isn't what you want, really, because they know, this person may know a lot more than you about something. So about what something really entails and really looks like. This could be someone who's guiding you. One opportunity does not happen, so you seek out guidance. This can be like a judge or a lawyer, or anybody who just has spent a lot of time building a fund of knowledge that you can tap, a mentor idea. So you might be that mentor right here. Someone with a large amount of information that you can use to make fair decisions, good decisions. So if you don't get an opportunity, someone decided that, and this Muse of Voices really looks like they did see both sides of the story. They did take into account all sorts of things, all sorts of extenuating circumstances and stuff like that. So whatever decision has been made here has been made with full knowledge and quite a bit of wisdom, earned wisdom. That was not from, it's not just someone who's just starting out guessing or making, or takes in half the information. If this person had half the information, they understood that they had half the information and made the decision from that place. So this could also be a mentor or someone that you turn to for help once this opportunity does not pan out. This could be someone helping you build opportunities and making decisions about things. So you're not, some sort of risk or some sort of thing that you tried for isn't happening right now, right? We're only talking about Mercury Retrograde, which goes through January 18th, I think. So it's not that it's never going to happen. This is like a closed reading. We have parameters around it, okay? So where are we going? Or no, not where are we going, but we're not going anywhere. Six of Voices. Someone's made a decision, but this is like the minor arcana and the major arcana of the same concept, the leap of faith, not happening. Six of Voices, you're not detaching from a situation. So you're not abandoning the possibility here. You're not abandoning anything. You're not just moving on with, regrets, peace out, I'm gone. It's like you're you're not just abandoning this idea, even though something's not happening and you're not getting your chance to do something. You're also not abandoning the idea. You're not being asked to like just jump forward. So what could be messy? What could be messy for you is sort of a new beginning, an opportunity, a risk, a leap of faith. Could be a little bit messy here. But it also means you're not leaving anywhere. You're not moving forward, you're not leaving, you're not taking a leap right now. Somebody here is making some decisions. I don't think it's you. I think it's somebody else is making decisions that this is not the time to do this. So some opportunity, not going to get that opportunity, or the opportunity is very glitchy and messy. But also you're not totally abandoning ship and moving on to something else. But decisions are being made. They're smart decisions. But good thing you've got this. Good thing you've got, something that you like. So this is like a familiar passion from your past. So you've got that going on for you. But if you're trying anything new or trying to start something new, now is not a really great time to take the first steps on this dream. Don't abandon the dream though. We're not getting that either. We're just not right now is what I'm getting from this. The smart decision is not right now. All right, Cancer, we are going to move on to Leo. Actually, Cancer, we forgot to give you a little wild Kuan Yin prayer for the Mercury retrograde period. Unpredictable grace. I like this because both of the Fool and the Six of Swords reversed are very, like, a lot of unpredictable beginning here. It's not a lack of courage that makes you question the path before you sometimes. It's uncertainty. There's no need to doubt, just steps to take one after the other. And as you do this, all can then unfold as it must with the blessing of my powerful, if unpredictable, grace. So what I'm seeing here is those are both leaps of faith cards into the unknown. And this is more like, just take some smaller steps. Let's do baby steps for the course of Mercury retrograde. And then we can do some bigger leaps later, but baby steps. Although this looks like unpredictable, topsy-turvy situation. So that could also be why this King of Swords or this Muse of Voices is being cautious as well. So, all right. Now let's go to Leo. And I already shuffled this. I'm not going to shuffle it again. All right. Oh, wait. I am going to shuffle it again now. So I forgot what I was doing. Okay. 4 cards. What's Mercury retrograde? What are the blessings? What are the removals or messy areas or glitchy areas? All right. Glitch, glitch, gift, glitch. Okay. A lot of people are going to struggle with new beginnings. You know what? I'm going to say that Mercury, maybe we should just do like a New Year's celebration later in January and not quite like have the start of January actually be like, I don't even understand why January 1st is the beginning of the new year. I don't know that there's astrological, I have never heard of an astrological importance. That doesn't mean it exists, but like December 25th, when the light starts coming back, would be great. The start of Aries season would be great. It would be great. Anyway, so let's just pick some other day to start the new year, or have that be a thing. I think a lot of people started the new year in spring, yeah. All right. So what you might be losing some friendships, Leo. This is 3 of Voices reversed, 3 of Emotions reversed. So in the upright, this would be a party. So maybe this party is not actually happening. Maybe you plan to go to a New Year's party or some kind of party, and the party is not going on, Leo. Party is not happening, actually. You're not going to be able to go to the party if it is happening. There's some kind of gathering that doesn't end up panning out or happening. So you could also lose like some acquaintances or some friends or something like that. I wouldn't I guess I'm getting more like, this is probably like a party that's just not going to happen for whatever reason. It's just not going to happen. Maybe everybody gets sick. Everybody in my world has been sick. I've been sick. But some sort of gathering of friends doesn't actually happen. Maybe you have like a weekly gathering or a bi-weekly gathering, and for whatever reason, we're skipping it this time. So there could be, or there could just be a glitch around some kind of party or get together, or it doesn't have to be a big party, you know, with champagne. It could just be like a low key hanging out with people. So, and there also could be some disconnects, maybe not ends of friendships. That's what I was like, it sounds weird, but some disconnects with our friends. There could just be some glitches, some miscommunications, people not being able to be there for other people, even though they normally would be. Just some sort of glitches in our friendships happening. So some messy friendship stuff. We also have here Ace of Voices in reverse. You may not understand something very clearly. You're not getting some sort of epiphany. There could be some sort of glitch with a friend, and they're either not telling you the truth or they're not communicating with you at all. Someone could ghost you, and you're not receiving a communication. You don't see why this is happening or what's going on. There might be a sense of, there's just a muddy water is what I feel like. And what do we do with muddy water? We leave it alone until it settles itself out. So just some muddy communication with friends. I mean, they could also be relatives as well, but there's a friendship here. But it's got some glitches going on, and there could be miscommunication, not understanding, something like that. And not a lot of clarity on what's going on here. But maybe there's not a lot of clarity, but you also are going to get a lot of information that really moves things forward. So maybe there's like some key information that you aren't going to get, but you're going to get either eventually a lot of information and some sort of dam is going to be unleashed, where before there was like glitches around these relationships and things weren't very clear. Now we have a lot of clarity, a lot of movement. There's a lot of power and intensity in these communications. This isn't just like, what's up? I'm fine. I'm good. How are you? Cool. You know, it's not like that. There's like a lot of intensity. Maybe someone's like, no, you said this and you said that and you did this and you did that. There's like this movement with the aim of taking some relationship from point A to point B, or with the aim of taking this like confusing thing, really clearing it way the heck up. So this could all be happening during the Mercury retrograde, but it's a gift. Consider it a gift. When someone wants to talk to you, I know that if I don't respect someone, or I come to a point of not respecting someone and not thinking that they're going to listen to me, they're going to hear me out, what's the point? Or if I think they're going to lie to me in response to my questions, there's not a lot of point in communication when I know that there are lies going on there. And I don't know, I know not everybody feels that way, but for me, I don't know why we're talking if we're just saying crap. So that may have been what happened here, but this is a gift for someone to be very open and very clear to you. It at least means they trust you enough to be able to respond in some useful, productive way. So this is very productive communication that really moves something forward. This could really be clearing the air here, right? This smoky, foggy, the smog that sort of envelops some sort of relationship or friendship or maybe even party. There's something here that really clears the air. Very clear communication coming in, and a lot of it. Also might be messy, organizing something. So just expect, it's not don't organize at something or don't plan for something. It's just to understand that there are going to be some glitches with planning for something. Like it's not going to be like, maybe in the past or maybe normally you're like, let's have a party on Friday night. And then you send out all the invitations, people say yes. And this could be actually sending out all the invitations. Maybe you don't end up going to a New Year's Eve party and you're like, hey, but I kind of wanted that. Let's have a beginning of Aquarius season party or something like that. But it is going to be, there's some glitches here in the planning stages. So this isn't the Fool, like you had this great idea. This is like trying to plan something and organize something and get it together. And it's not going to go as smoothly as you would hope. So yeah. So maybe this Eight of Inspiration could be a lot of invitations or something like that. But something's just going to expect glitches. There's something you want to do and it's going to take some organization and some planning, and it looks like it might be around a party or gathering, but expect there to be glitches, Leo. It's not going to go as smoothly as you thought. The practical aspects of this, there's some communication glitches, some friendship glitches, some practical aspects of something that you're trying to get started or get off the ground. You're going to communicate your ass off here, but it's not necessarily going to make things, it's the point of the communication will be to go from point A to point B, but there will be some practical messiness to it. All right, Leo. Did we get the whole message? Okay. So from the Wild Kuan Yin, be guided now. So stepping into something, but needing some help with it. Allow yourself to be guided. The guide cannot take the steps for you. That's your job. But the guide can show you the way. It is up to you if you choose to take it, whether you tread carefully, dance, or run along that sacred pathway towards the loving arms of the Holy Mother. She's always there to help you. So this would be like maybe needing some help, needing some guidance. Hey, I'd like to, plan the party. I didn't end up getting to go to this one. So I'd like to do something else, and maybe reading some books, maybe asking some people. But also there's like, it's like you might need some guidance here. And this could be also you asking for help, reaching out to people. Hey, I want to get from point A to point B. How do I do that? And this person's available. This would be someone who might be older than you or just more experienced in a certain field than you are. And it's reaching out for expert advice, expert help on something. And you can go at your own pace, do it your way, for sure. But there might be someone that is available to help you navigate something here. So, all right, Leo. All right, Virgo. Let's see what Mercury Retrograde is creating complications for you and what it's clearing up. All right, 4 cards. This is actually a little bit difficult to read. We have some the way I've set this reading up, there's some tricky energies here. So what's interesting though is that we have a match set, a king and a queen. We have muse of emotions, and this one doesn't come in upside down or right side up. It just is here. Emotional maturity. So someone here is able to handle, the flow of emotions. Emotions bring information. Emotions are true, but they are not the truth. We get to incorporate all the other parts of ourselves, our intellect, our body, our health, all the parts of ourselves get to go into our decisions that we make. But the king of emotions, the muse of emotions, is very much in touch with that emotional information and that emotional information and what it's bringing. This is a lot of emotional maturity, inner balance, inner peace, no matter what's going on around, topsy-turvy possibly in the environment, but able to maintain an equilibrium, using emotions as information, as a data point to add into the decision-making mix. We have Queen of Emotions. So what you might find as the tide goes out is what's underneath the tide here, right? She's on the beach, she's underneath the water. Someone who, it's a person, the tide goes out and you see this person. This person has a lot of feelings. They keep their feelings to themselves. It's really interesting. Some people keep their feelings to themselves while also expressing other things. Like the surface of this water can be very tumultuous at times, Underneath is this whole other world, though. So it's not that this person is always calm on the surface. It's that there's a lot underneath the surface that can go unexpressed. But as we're talking about this tide going out and Mercury retrograde pulling the water so that we can see what's on the beach, right, we lose the water. The water's a little messy. The tide gets a little messy. But what's on the beach? What are we beachcombing here? What's it leaving behind for us to pick up and see under unusual circumstances? So we have this queen of emotions, someone who knows how they feel, but they maybe keep their feelings to themselves typically. But this, I mean, we've got the king and queen of emotions here. So this could be a love match, a match set. And this person might reveal feelings and emotions that they wouldn't have normally revealed. The queen of emotions is very internally focused. How do they feel? How do they feel? And they are very clear on how they feel. They're also very clear they're not really going to share that with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks through the door, right? So this person may be willing to share and open up in a way that they have not before during this Mercury retrograde. And I think especially if you're coming in as emotionally mature, this queen of emotions, will, male or female, will receive that and will understand that. That you will also be scavenging the gift of difficult choices. Integrity is at stake here with this Five of Voices. Choosing yourself, choosing to please others. This difficult choice will put you in a mode in which you have to choose who you truly are. What is the most valuable thing to you? There's also an olive branch here. So if you haven't typically gotten along with this queen of emotions or with this person, there's an opportunity for an olive branch moment, but it is going to be a very difficult choice for you. And it will cause you to choose in some way, some part of who you are. Oh, this candle just went out. Okay, that happens, but it happened during your reading. A candle just went out. Okay, well, you'll have to decide who you are here. What do you really want? What's at your, and this may require some meditation on your part. Some very serious introspection and meditation on your part to figure out what it is, who it is that you want to be. And there's not really a wrong answer here because there's also not a right answer in this equation. There's not that we wouldn't be having a difficult choice if the right answer were clear. If we could skip to the back of the book and be like, oh, that's the answer to that problem. I did it wrong, or I did it right, or whatever. That's not the type of equation or the type of dilemma that you're in. This dilemma has no good answer, no obvious, clear answer. And that is, we can take these as gifts to cause us to be more introspective, to figure out more of who we are. And sometimes we're someone who defends ourselves and needs to stand up for ourselves. And sometimes we're someone who needs to sacrifice for somebody else, and we're willing to do that. But who are we right now, today, and what is the decision that we are going to make today? And what does this mean about who we are and how we perceive ourselves? If this was a simple decision, a simple, clear decision, you wouldn't be getting this card. So in some ways, I love this card and the affirmation that some choice that you're going to be making is actually quite difficult and actually has quite a bit of meaning and weight to it. And it's not simple. It's not easy. You wouldn't get this card if it was a simple question. So a difficult question. It's not obvious which way to go. Sacrifices may be made. You may have to give up something to get something else. But that too is a very important part of knowing who you are. Another, what could be lost? A team. You could be, what could be receding here? What's the tide taking out with it? A team, a work team typically, people that you typically work with, maybe a consultation, a consultant. Maybe your therapist is like, I quit. A coworker might be leaving you behind or leaving, or you might be leaving coworkers. And maybe this coworker removing themselves creates a dilemma for you. Or maybe, leaving these coworkers behind, or It's coworkers and they're going out with the tide somehow. Either it's just naturally the end of the project, or it could be a little glitchy. The coworker situation could be a little glitchy, or the consultant could be a little glitchy here. I can see a situation in which, like, you've got to let it, you hired someone to, do your interior decorating, and now you've got to let them go because they are not working. And it's hard. It's a hard decision to do. But they're not working very well. So it's something glitchy with like a coworker or a consultant or something. So that might be a place to tread a little more carefully, or you might have to make some hard decisions to let somebody go, or to end a working relationship, or a work type relationship. So you are one of a kind. This is our little prayer from the Wild Quanon. Your own path will never be exactly the same as anyone else's. The type of frequency you hold is as individual as your fingerprints. That uniqueness cannot ever be taken from you, co-opted by another. So this could be co-opted by another, or compromised in any way. This could be a decision to not compromise. Relish your uniqueness and share it lovingly, freely, joyfully with the world. You're one of a kind. So your decision is also going to be one of a kind and very unique to you. All right.